Oh, I'm here. There we go. Now we've got
Okay.
the two of us. Hey, what is going on, people of the internet? It's Josh here on Bonus Stage, and I am joined here tonight by none other than Tokyo X Nova, referred to lovingly as Tokyo for our purposes here tonight. How you doing tonight, man?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing amazing, dude. We're here for a little bit of a quickie with your latest album, Lust. But I think the last time we had you on the show was for Bonus Stage Ultimate. God, that's coming up
Yeah.
on almost a year ago, man. But you had a really hype set for that. I sincerely loved your mixes and your remixes, and yeah, it's been a while, dude. What you been up to?
For the most part, I've just been going for my bachelor's of science for marketing for my college. But for the most part, I've been wanting to put out music for a long time. A lot of people has been like, hitting me in the back of the head, just being like, please put out something. And I was like, fine, let me put something together. So I decided to spice something up with just a bunch of. Honestly, I've been wanting to make a lot of like future bassy and like dubsteppy songs, and a lot of people have been wanting some like heavier stuff from me. So I decided to put that out in this EP, and this will kind of just give a taste of what I'm trying to do with my, following plans as well as projects. So it's just a little
Absolutely.
something. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no, I gave this EP a couple of listens. Definitely getting a little bit heavier, getting a little bit
Yes.
dirtier.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I dig it 100%. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's been a while since we've had you on Bonus Stage, but I think you were also telling me that it's been a long time since you put any music out. What was your last release?
My last release was Finale. It was just a two-part EP that I decided to try to put out, during the end of the year, just to try to both give a difference in both the type of music that I put out as well as just something normal for my normal viewers. But for the most part, I've been just like happy and trying behind the scenes, just working on trying to put this EP together and make sure it's very clean, very concise. Just something to get a lot of the viewership going with the type of music that I make as well as the dubstep genre.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You gotta take the time to make the rhyme. I don't know. That's a terrible
Yeah.
rhyme. That is terrible.
Hey, honestly, it's all right. It was bars. It was bars.
I did
That's
not
what we
take
like.
any
It's what we
time
like to
on
hear.
that.
It's all right.
I appreciate it.
Honestly. But no, I definitely loved being back on here. Even just my bonus stage set, I was like happy because like a lot of people who were listening just kind of just loved some of the both the unreleased stuff that I had as well as just the song I mixed with it. Because like a lot of the stuff that would mix with my DJ set, especially for bonus stage, is like even songs that I really love as well as just other people do. So that's kind of like really the fun of it is just doing what you love.
Yeah, 100%. Well, speaking of love, that is definitely an adjacent theme to this EP.
Yeah. This, so
Last
I was trying to think of something that kind of came for the name, for example. So the original track that I made, the first song was just going to be Lust. I was originally just going to put Lust out by itself,
Mhm.
but because I haven't put out music for so long, I wanted to give people more. So I kind of made a whole theme around it. So it kind of goes from like some of the names, like obviously Lust. Obviously, Zoomies, we'll talk about that later because it's like it's a bonus stage from the whole thing. But like, obviously, it kind of goes with the whole like love and lust thing because there's Wonderland, um, Heartbeat, and Sakura Galaxy. It kind of goes with that, succubus vibe. Because, for example, my own OC character that I have in there, as well as the succubus character, to go with the whole lust theme. So I wanted to kind of make a whole world around that whole topic for the most part. But originally, Lust is the first song, and the EP was just supposed to be just one song. So together.
Dang, man. But if you take
Yeah.
the time, you make the rhyme, and that Lust created a few extra babies to tag along with
Yes,
this
sir.
release.
There we go. See, he's got it. He's got it. He had to. Speaking on that, he literally had to think this up, and then he's literally a lyrical genius now, ladies and gentlemen.
It only
This man
took
right here's got it.
it only took 1 minute. Oh my god! It only took a little pause in the conversation. Oh my god, dude. No, this is honestly this is a really fun release. You said the obviously yes, the Tokyo X Nova character is of your own design. The
Yes.
succubus, this is also of your own design.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more
This.
about like the album art here and kind of what's going on with the characters.
So it's actually great to talk about because I could also plug my friend in. So Trinity, Trinity Draws Things is actually she's one of my best friends, and I wanted her to kind of do something because I've seen some of her work and actually she's really good at drawing. So I decided to have her put something together for this EP because I already have basically the topic as well as just the scenery that I want. But, to visualize that and try to explain that to other people is really difficult. So for the most part, I just tried to explain her, like, I wanted the whole Lust thing to be both my character and have that succubus character. So the succubus character is kind of the main thing that I had for my Love Struck EP. So for example, there's just like 2 random like anime girls that I had for my Love Struck EP. And I was like, you know what? I want to use one of them for this, but, use the devil character for it. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, drop her in there. And then I also had my one of my other friends who does, both the editing and album art thing to help me out with this, and we could probably talk about that as well later. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, he was helping me out. It was like a lot to put together with this. But honestly, the album art, I just kind of wanted to have a whole like feel where you're actually in and invasive with that. If on my Instagram as well as on my Spotify canvas, it's like a mini thing I put together, which is just like you in a, water area with just like a soccer tree area. And it's like a little symbolism, but, it's to everybody's own subjections,
God, definitely, man. All right. Well, I'm going to drop the link in chat there, folks, so that you have it. Linktree, linktr.ee/Tokyo X Nova.
There we go.
Awesome. Oh, what's going on? Vector U Music. Hey, poggers to you as well. Thanks for the sub. Nice to have you here, man. What's going on? Well, I think that's as good as any as an intro for us to start digging into this EP. Are you ready to get into our first track here, Tokyo?
Yes, sir. This is for everybody to hear. I'm excited.
Awesome, folks. Well, then here's the title track off of this EP. This is Lust. Let's listen. Dude, that is a really good track. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my god. Got lots of really good flows, lots of good peaks and valleys in there.
Trying to make something heavy but also somber at the same time, because like everybody likes to vibe, but also we want everybody, headbanging wherever they are. Or if you're in the gym trying to get that late night pump, we're trying to make sure that you hit that PR. Telling you, because some of my friends do listen to my music, and even like, for example, although it's not on the EP, my song Purge, like he was like, yeah, I was actually working out to your music. It's actually pretty good. And I was like, you know what, I'm finally getting the gym bros in here and doing it.
Oh my god, hold on. Let me change the category of this stream. We're gonna call it gym or whatever, and then we'll get everybody in the right place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, man. No, no.
Yes, sir.
All jokes aside, awesome. First track. I can see how you might consider just like releasing that on its own.
Yeah.
Like it definitely sounds like it can
This
stand
song
on its
I've
own.
been working on for about like 5-6 months, but I kind of didn't know what to really do with the rest of it, because I had a whole different theme. Like originally, obviously, it was Lust, but I just originally just had like a neon thing just saying Lust. But I kind of felt like it was kind of something you could put out. I kind of, if you notice with with the rest of my music, they all have each like theme specifically for it. So I wanted to keep that, which each song, each project, and each release, I just wanted to keep that consistent. So I kind of wanted to make something with that, but I originally just had that one track. But now that it's been in the in the burner for about like 5-6 months, but I think recently, around like April or March, I decided to start putting out more music. Ever since like it started debuting some of the like unreleased music I have.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I was just curious, like, what your music writing process is like.
Honestly, it's a good question myself, because it's the main thing where, and I would say for even people who's never made music before, if you ever want to make music, you could do what I do, which is just make a theme. It's like, for example, if you were trying to like write a book or like write a story or whatever, like you have this character, right? And you kind of like, just for a movie, like every character has their own theme. Every character has their own, like, for example, Batman. Like Batman has his own theme. It's like vengeance. It's like very like it's very like edgy in a sense, and it's easier to make music off of that and think about it. So for Lust, I was like, I wanted it to sound very somber, but I also wanted to put that peak of whatever happens in the bedroom for the most part for that. So I wanted to add something very somber in the beginning, but then kind of goes for a very exciting and eccentric type of thing. And I did that for a lot of the other songs, except for Heartbeat, where that one I wanted to put out a lo-fi song, and honestly it works so like good for the entire theme of the whole EP, and I really like that.
Well, that's definitely awesome. No, and that segues kind of nicely into discussing about our next few tracks, because while we are going to be listening to 3 songs in a row here, they are kind of as you were saying, more or less one song that you've kind of divided up. Tell us a little bit about them. We've got Zoomies, we've got Wonderland, we got Heartbeat.
So Zoomies specifically was a song that I made for a friend, and I just asked them, what all do you just want in the song? Because I was like, I was feeling cheeky, and I was like, what all do you want in the song? So I tried to make a dubstep song, a future bass track, or rather kawaii future bass track, and a lo-fi hip-hop song. And honestly, which I originally didn't want to put it out, but I listened to the whole thing and I was like, this is probably the best music that I put out in a day. Because like usually whenever I'm trying to make a lot of tracks in music, it takes some time, because I can make it in a day, but to really finalize it and craft the whole song so it sounds a lot cleaner, it takes over time of just like nitpicking and stuff over time. But for the most part, I made that song in about the whole 3 tracks in 3 days. So Zoomies, only half of the track was finished, and Heartbeat was a song that was like the end tail of it, which is just the lo-fi song. And Wonderland was the track that a lot of people liked when I played, for example, I played it at Raleigh GalaxyCon. I posted on my Instagram, people loved it. And I wanted to make that song like have a different, tail to it. So Zoomies being the bonus track, which is a lot different.
Track number 2, bonus track, already
track number
there.
2, bonus track. I got to give a shout out to my friend Meek. Meek is the only person, and you can thank him, is the reason why that song is on the EP. I originally was not going to put it on there because I felt like originally by itself, it didn't sound good enough. And he was like, put it out. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend the next 2 days chiseling at it. So what we did, we hopped in the FL Studio, right? We started cooking, right? And so I made sure to start doing a new dubstep. Like I usually kind of do a lot of traditional dubstep and rhythm sometimes, but I wanted to go outside of the box. So there's tear out dubstep, which is kind of like another subgenre in dubstep that I decided to experiment with. So as well as like I get a lot of my inspirations from Virtual Riot. So I decided to do a little color basing thing with the first drop of Zoomies, and you'll hear that, in a second. But for the most part, I decided to make this a lot heavier and try to experiment. And I really experimented with this, and I feel like a lot of people loved that, because it was a lot different from my other tracks. That this one's like purely like heavy dubstep. And that was like the main thing that I tried to put here. But for the most part, Zoomies was originally just one song. And on a whim, I just decided to split them into 3 songs because they were just 3 separate genres. And I just decided, it may be a good thing to just make these into tracks. So Zoomies, I finished the end part and redid the entire song. Wonderland, I decided to keep the first part. But the second part, I decided to completely just make from the ground up. And as well, people were hyping that one end of that song up to a T. And that's what I love to hear. And Heartbeat, I already had that lo-fi song, so I just cleaned it up a bit and put it out. And like it came out perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I can agree with that. And I think everybody who listens is going to agree with that. So with that in mind, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, folks. We are going to listen to Zoomies, Wonderland, and Heartbeat. Let's listen.
Loaded. Fire. Initiate physical. Loaded. Fire.
About that dream. Wasn't so.
Oh man! All right, no fade out, but we got the little giggle there. Oh man, that was a beautiful journey there, dude. I'm glad that you decided to like expand on the ideas in that first song and really kind of like blow it up, make it into three things. They are distinct, but they have like a really good flow between them and some shared motifs as well.
Sure. I wanted to add something to give a little intermission to the next song as well. It's just like for those people who are not like EDM people, but still like, smooth music or just like an R&B type vibe, I decided to kind of change it up and put this in here. And just like I was saying, like with some other people as well as with you in the, in the background, I was saying that like I love like hip hop, like lo-fi hip hop and funk music. Now, if you want like a fun fact for me, I do like EDM and dubstep, obviously, but lo-fi and like just some smooth music is literally like my second favorite types of genres. Like it's just so good, and I feel like this is something that I like to branch out to different genres and try something new. And I feel like I'm actually starting to get good at lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah. That I mean, Heartbeat's an excellent lo-fi track, dude. I would love to hear more of that for sure. So yeah, that's kind of surprising to hear that you don't do that more often.
Yeah, I think I've only made like 2 tracks of that I actually put out, which was Downpour, which is like in the first EP I've ever put out, ever made. And that was like a pretty good one. And actually my brother listened to it for the first time. He was like, why don't you make more of this? And I was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm trying.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
They're like, why don't you make more of this? And I'm like, all right, start cooking. But
start cooking in those Fruity Loops.
Start cooking in the Fruity Loops. And I'm telling you, it's all on the wrist. It's all on the wrist. It's a real technique. If you ever want to start using FL Studio instead of Ableton, it's all on the wrist.
All right.
But for the most part, I tried to make lo-fi sound as, I guess, unique as it possibly can. Because for the most part, I love to incorporate just my style of just lo-fi as well as just my melodic style into that. And so I feel like I kind of made a step up from like my other lo-fi song, in my opinion. But so I'm giving a little hurrah for that.
Yeah, give it a little bit of the wrist. Yeah.
A little bit of the wrist.
Oh, that's beautiful. But yeah, just like the transitions between like the hard stuff and like going into the post-coitus heartbeat there.
Sorry, it's the pillow talk.
So thematic. I love it, man. Oh my gosh. Well, that just leaves us with one more track on here, Sakura Galaxy. Before we get into that, you were also telling me, just on the subject of like creating more lo-fi, creating more music in general, that you've actually got a whole lot of unfinished tracks. I think you said you played like a full set of unused
so
stuff.
At Home at 2022, and Ben Briggs could probably attest to this, I did my DJ set, and honestly, people were going crazy for it. But the aftermath, he was like, you played like a whole set of just unreleased music, and I was like, I know, I got to put this out. I'm trying. So I think there's and this can talk about like another project of anything, but just a little bit before the end part. But I have probably enough music to make another album and like a couple singles to put out, and it's just like a whole theme that I decided to put that out. And the main thing was that I think I played a lot of unreleased music in the beginning as well as in the middle of the track, just to try to do that. Because sometimes whenever I make music, I'll just make it and then name it something and then come back to it later. But like the names are a little weird. Sometimes I'll actually name it something, and sometimes I'll just be like New Beat 2023 or like
final.mp3
final master.wave. Like I swear I had one of my songs just named Dope Song 2019 back when I used to just like randomly make tracks. So like honestly that's another way. If you don't know what to name a song, just name it something random and then just randomly come back to it, and then you'll figure it out.
Working titles, man. Sometimes they stick. Sometimes they're great. Sometimes, Dope Beat 2019 is like a publishable thing. But
exactly. Speaking of Heartbeat, I actually, and there's another thing. My friend Trinity, who also designed the art, named Heartbeat, and I was just like, I'll just name it Heartbeat. And she was like, wait, really? You are? And I was just like, yeah. I mean, I wanted my friends to have some type of like invest into this. So I was just like, I'll just let her name one of them. So I had her do that, as well as just some other stuff that I decided to do.
That's awesome.
With the EP.
Shout outs, yeah, for sure.
Shout out.
Oh my god. Well, shall we get into this? It feels like the end came a little too soon, but here we are. Can we do this thing? All right.
Sir.
We are going to listen to Sakura Galaxy. If you didn't notice, I'm just currently surrounded in Sakura. Very thematic.
Oh, the beautiful Sakura in the back.
Yeah. Awesome, folks. Well, then this is it. This is Sakura Galaxy. Let's listen.
なんですから。
Beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Bravo. Bravo. That is an awesome track. short and sweet, much like the rest of the EP. But I always like to commend people who, especially when they're crafting a release, put a little bit of effort into making sort of like a flow. And especially given that you only had 5 tracks on this EP, creating a flow with some good peaks and valleys over the entire listening experience. I think you did a really good job there. Sakura Galaxy, the whole thing, Lust, Zoomies, Wonderland, Heartbeat. What an awesome release.
And I wanted to, have something that just really gets people going, really get people listening. And just like with the flow and thematic, I wanted it to be like something that you can tell had like a lot of work put into it and a lot of, dedication. So that's what I kind of wanted to put into this.
Yeah.
And
well
for the most
done.
part,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. That's the main thing as well. Just going to talk about like just both some projects as well as just some future shows for the most part.
Perfect.
So coming back to the graveyard of a bunch of unreleased tracks.
Oh, don't call it a graveyard. It's a compost pile.
The compost pile. Yeah, the compost pile of unreleased tracks. There will be something done with it. In the next couple months, I'm trying to put together probably the ID in the project. It's going to be called Final Boss right now. I wanted to make like a video gamey as well as just nerdcore, invested project. And it's going to be an album this time. It's going to be around 12 to 15 songs. And just putting that together with a bunch of either collaborations or songs made by myself. But until then, I'm not going to leave most of the people dry without music. Me and the Archie Carter is going to be putting a song called Rich together that should be coming out in the next following month, which this one's more hybrid trap as well as nerdcore, and I feel like people will love that. But in terms of shows, hopefully we could probably get some cons, probably either Colossal Con or KatsuCon onto the ropes, but be on the lookout for that one, and probably some further shows as well as performances on Bonus Stage itself in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. We were talking about that backstage, and I'm not going to say anything more about it than that. But folks, there's Tokyo X Nova's Linktree again. If you want to stay tuned for any of those updates on releases or upcoming shows, definitely make sure that you're following them on social media. This EP Lust, where can people go to listen to it? Again, besides
on all platforms, SoundCloud, yes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music. They're pretty much on all platforms so far that I know. Deezer. Got on Beatport.
Yeah.
And for those people who still are on iTunes and Pandora, it is on there too. And we make sure to put it on everything that you can possibly listen for, and it is in for your viewing discretion. Make sure to comment and message me how you like it, how you love it, or if there's anything in some constructive criticism, I listen to all.
Awesome. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and hit him with those negative comments, folks. He will take it with grace. I'm trying to think of like a single negative comment I could have about this.
I hated it.
It
wasn't long enough.
It made me too happy.
It made me too happy. It made me cry because it was so good.
Oh my God. Oh man. All right. Well, I hope that that people are having a good time putting this on in the bedroom. Folks, Tokyo X Nova, Lust. Go check this out. This has been released for a while too, hasn't it?
I think, about a couple weeks.
Okay.
Almost a month now.
Still relatively fresh.
Yeah, it's
still got
fresh.
That new car smell on it. Yeah.
It's got the little tree on there.
Awesome, man. Well, I hope it's not too much longer before we get you back on the show, or before you get an awesome gig too, by the way. But yeah, I think that takes us to the end of our show here tonight. Folks, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Tokyo, for hitting me up and doing this.
Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure. And folks, I'll see about doing a raid or something, but otherwise we have a pretty quiet stream month on Bonus Stage. So hit us up on social media if you want to see when our next show will be, or join our Discord community. In either case, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Make sure to join.